This is our King's Camp Oven stove that we did a review on around about 12 months ago. Now, we've been asked by a few different people and had a couple of different comments on the channel about how they hold up, whether they're worth getting, anything like that. So let's take a look now, 12 months later. One of the things you'll notice there is the on the top around here that that it's rusted up a fair bit around here. That's just surface rust from being really hot in there. The slide still fits in there. It's had quite a few fires in it too, but that all fits in there still fine, in and out, no problems at all. All of the bits here still work. They've still got their bits in the chimney. They've still got the tall chimney there, all good to go. The joints in the legs have all held up. The little toggles and that have all worked fine, and the little tray, so still got all the bits, all good to go. You see here on the door too, there's the two positions, 1 and 2. That's to go onto this latch just here. So for letting air flow, you can have it open a little bit or fully closed. So just into there, that's good to go. But yeah, in general, it's held up really well. They're only cheap, like they're only thin steel in here. They're pretty thin, but they do hold up really well. And this one's gone pretty good so far. So we might put a fire in there and cook ourselves some dinner. Well, it seems that fire's going in there just nicely now, so we might figure out what we're going to cook on it today. Okay, we've got our got a French pan there. Now, if you haven't seen a French pan before, it's cast iron and it's coated. We use this on the outside fires quite a bit. We use them when we take the caravan places as well. So now we don't want that overly hot in there because that is going to be pretty warm with the fire going. So we probably just shut it down a little bit to the first one, so there's a gap in here like we showed before and a little bit of air flowing through, and we'll leave that at full open up here on the baffle. So and we'll just let that warm up. There's a fair bit of heat coming through there at the moment. Let that fire establish, let that get nice and warm in there. That's starting to warm up already, and we don't want it to get too hot, and then we'll go from there. Right, I made a decision, and there we go. We're going to do a beef brisket in here. So I had a piece of beef brisket in the fridge, so you can see that that's starting to get pretty hot. So we're going to need a little bit of oil in it. So I've got a little bit of olive oil there, a little bit of olive oil in there, and coat the meat as well for the olive oil, and put that all around, make that so it's nice in there, ready to go. That'll start to brown up in there a little. Let that brown up. You can see that's nice and hot, and straight away we'll just get that a little bit of a seal in there. It'll literally just take a second, and then give it a little bit of a flip over. Let that seal up a little bit. Literally, we don't want to let it cook too much in there just yet. That's just going to seal out the outside a little bit. Beautiful piece of beef brisket there. Just sealing it up a little. There we go. Now it's not overly sealed, but that'll do for the moment. Now I've got a bit of a smoked hickory rub there, and it's just a grill mate from McCormick's. So we're going to put this bit of a rub on there. There we go. Literally just put that straight onto the top like that, keeping it as simple as possible. We have to whack a little bit of water in there. Let that go like that, and then whack that lid straight back on, and we'll let that cook away in its own juices for a bit and come back in a little bit and see how it's going. This has been on now for around about 15-20 minutes, and you can see here that it's just starting to, juices are starting to come out of it, and it's going well there. We'll have to add a little bit of water into that as well. Smells absolutely beautiful. Now I'm using this French pan, which is cast iron French pan. You can use a camp oven, any Dutch oven, any of those that you want to use. Really simple cooking. I use this because I've got it. It's I bought a set of these just purely for doing this stuff outside in the caravan, cooking on these stoves, and they work absolutely brilliantly. So French pans work great for doing anything like stews, anything like curries, any of that sort of stuff as well. So they slow cook things beautifully, and 100% worth getting one if you can find one. So comes a time when you have to ask yourself, is it worth getting one? Is it worth getting one of the King's stoves? Hey, they're cheap. Like literally, I paid about $80 for that one online. It was delivered within the price as well. I think they vary in price, depends on where you live and where you're up to. Are they the Wooshka, or a smoker or something like that? Like that's a homemade smoker. The Wooshka you get from Bunnings and places like that. There's plenty of fireplaces and barbecues you can get. Are they that? No, they're not that same thick steel, good quality of a potbelly or something like that. They're thin steel, they're cheap, they're transportable, they pack up to a small size. You can put them in the car, the caravan, you can take them on tour with you, you can cook, you can have a fire on it, you can get warm from it. So is it worth getting for the price and what it is? 100%, it's worth getting if it's what you're after. Just remember though, as we said in the first video, when you get it, make sure that you put a decent fire in it, burn all that coating off the outside, because it stinks. I remember that from 12 months ago. It was absolutely horrible and stank. But in general, it's held up. Like we've had some big fires in that. I use it when I'm processing birds and all that out the back here. When I'm doing meat stuff, I always put that one there on, and I put a pot of water on top, and it keeps it nice and hot for us. So it's a good idea. It works, and I really can't complain with what it is. It's pretty cool actually. There you go. The King's has been on all afternoon, and we've got the fire brewing in there, and we're going to open this up. What do you reckon, babe? You ready?
Ready?
There we go.
Oh wow! Have a look at that.
Right,
yummy! That looks good.
Okay, do you want to give it a poke with the fork there, darling?
Poke with the fork.
Poke with the fork. How's that?
Oh my gosh, that is so tender.
No, poke it properly.
Oh my
there you
gosh,
go.
I know. I didn't
You're
need to. Look at that. Oh my word.
Okay. Okay, that's looking pretty much ready. It's all caramelised on the outside.
That looks
looking
beautiful.
Yummy. And
wow, that's dinner.
It's dinner. Let's get it. Let's get dinner on.
Woohoo!
You want to eat some?
Let's go.
Xander wants to eat some. Let's get it on.
Let's go.